how do you deal with failure? So first of all, you have to determine, was it even failure at all? And I'm not talking about it's not failure, it's just learning. Like, yeah, I agree with that. You don't fail, you just learn. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's surface level. I'm talking about, okay, did you actually fail at this thing? Or you haven't given it enough time for it to succeed? There's two different cases there, and those are two completely different things. Number one, I made a video about this, going a little bit deeper into this idea here, but you have two situations that can be true at the same time. You have a situation of you're digging and digging and digging, and you stopped and you failed, and you're 1 foot, you dug, if you would have dug 1 foot more, you would have hit the diamonds or hit the gold. You've heard that story before. Or were you digging yourself a hole and you just kept digging yourself a deeper hole, and you had to get to a point where you were like, all right, I have to call it quits, and I have to, now dig a stairway into the dirt and get myself out of here, right? So yes, the one where it's a hole and you're digging yourself a hole, deeper hole, yes, I would call that failure. Now, again, you want to go surface level here, and we'll say it's not failure, it was a learning experience. I agree with that. Because you don't fail, you just learn, for sure. But that's too surface level. That's not my point in this video. My point is, first you have to determine, okay, great. Did I fail and did I learn from this situation and I dug a hole? Wonderful. I just learned. Okay, now what do we do from there? I'm going to get into that in 1 second. But if you are into the point where you are, like, you're gonna succeed, it just needs a little bit more time. You just have to be patient. You just have to keep digging for a little bit longer to hit the diamonds, to hit the gold. Then that's great. And you didn't fail. You just need a little bit more time, right? People are gonna say that you failed for years and years and years and they're right until one day that they're wrong. Until that day that you do hit the diamonds, you do hit the gold. And then you didn't fail, you actually succeeded. It just took a long time. And during that duration of the time, it seemed like failure, but it was actually success. It just took a long time for the success to catch up. That's how things work, right? They look like this and then they hockey stick up. It's a compounding effect over time, but it takes forever to lay foundations for anything that's of value, anything that's good. Now, the time or the other circumstance here is, okay, let's say you did fail and you were digging yourself a hole and deeper, and you're like, great, I need to stop now. And I need to get myself out of this hole. Okay, well, like I said, it's just a learning opportunity. And so what do you do from there? So if you did fail and you see it as a learning opportunity, just acknowledge it and keep going, keep moving on, right? I've done so many different things in online business over the last 5 years. Started when I was 18, 23, and I've done so many different things. And guess what? I'd probably say half of them did not work very well, if not probably more than half, right? So I've made a lot of money in a short period of time doing something, and then tried some other things and didn't make money, or spent and wasted a lot of money. Again, learning opportunity, but I've done that. I've been in that cycle for years, and so now I'm getting to a place where, okay, after all this experience, after 5 years, I know what I like, I know what I don't like, I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not good at, and so it's going to be very easy, even though it can be uncomfortable and challenging and not fun and whatever synonyms you want to throw in there. It gets to a point where you're like, okay, well, I'm at a point where this stuff is just going to take some time, if you're on that boat, or if you're at the point where, okay, I failed and I acknowledge that, I learned a lot from it. Great, what do I do now? Well, now you just keep moving on. People like to dwell in the failure. You just have to keep looking for the next step. What's the next opportunity? What's the next step? What's the next thing I'm going to do? Do I need to take some time and chill and regroup and then try it again? What do you need to do? Have a plan, keep taking steps forward. Don't stop. It's like a shark, right? When the shark stops swimming, it stops living. So you have to constantly have that motion. When you stop, that's when you get in a bad place, and don't just do things just to be busy and keep your mind busy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying do things to be productive, right? But it's okay to get a little scrappy. It's okay to stop and regroup and figure out what needs to be done for the next steps, but don't dwell on it. Don't take too long. So That's how you deal with failure. Of course, every failure is a learning opportunity, but you have to recognize, is it true failure? Like, is this, are you just digging yourself a hole, or are you, you just need a little bit more time, a little bit more patience, you need to take a break, regroup, build up some funds, and hit it back again, like, what do you need to do? So put together a plan, don't stop, and determine first which situation you're in, because that will change your plan, determining on, or according to which situation you're in. So that's how you deal with failure. It's par for the course. It's what happens in life, and especially in business and online business. It's part of the game. So if you're not tough enough to deal with it, then that's a problem. But find either toughen up and or find some people, surround yourself with some good people, surround yourself who have been in similar situations to you, and have a good group, have connections. All of that stuff is so valuable in the lower points of your life, right? I actually had a quote, I'll end it with this. I had a quote that I'm going to make a reel on, but it's the quote of, well, this is my quote, but it's just thoughts that I've heard from many different people, and then I kind of put it into my own words. Highs and lows remind us that we're alive. Don't wish for smooth travels. So when you're in that failure, you're in that low, it's what reminds you that you're alive. It's what reminds you that waking up each morning and having breath in your lungs is a thing that actually matters. So don't wish for smooth travels. If you want an incredible life, you want to have high highs, you're going to have low lows. Because if you just want an average life, it's going to look like this, right? You'd be a little happy, a little sad, a little whatever. But if you want an incredible life, you're going to have low lows so you can hit those high highs, right? Everything has an equal and opposite reaction. So if you have small wins, you're going to have small failures. If you have big wins and you want big wins and you want a big life, you're going to have big failures. It's just how it works. So that's all I got for you today. We'll see you on the next one.